Good morning, everyone. We are Group 4 and we are here to discuss Lesson 4, which is Sexual Self.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine Dumilag and I will discuss human sexuality and sexual behavior. Sexuality is wide-ranging and personal. It is an important aspect of one's identity. Learning about your sexuality can be liberating, exciting, and positive experience. One of the essential motivating factors behind everyone's feelings, thoughts, and behaviors is sexuality. It defines biological reproduction, describes psychological and sociological self-representations, and directs a person's attraction to others. Sexuality is not defined by who you have sex with or how frequently you have it. Sexual feelings, thoughts, attractions, and behaviors toward other people are all aspects of sexuality. Other people can be physically, sexually, or emotionally appealing to you, and all of that is a part of your sexuality. And we have four aspects of human sexuality. Its components are biological sex, gender role, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Biological sex. Biological sex refers to the physical differences between people who are male, female, or intersex. A person typically has their sex assigned at birth based on physiological characteristics, including their genitalia and chromosome compositions. Assignment typically happens at birth based on anatomical and physiological markers. Male and female genitalia, both internal and external, are different, and male and female bodies have distinct hormonal and chromosomes differences. Doctors use these factors to assign natal sex. At birth, female assigned people have higher levels of estrogen and progesterone, and while assigned males have higher levels of testosterone. Assigned females typically have 2 copies of the X chromosome, and assigned males have one X and one Y chromosome. A gender role is a social role that encompasses a variety of behaviors and attitudes that are generally accepted, appropriate, or desirable for a person based on that person's sex. Gender roles in society means how we're expected to act, speak, dress, groom, and conduct ourselves based upon our assigned sex. For example, girls and women are generally expected to dress in typically feminine ways and be polite, accommodating, and nurturing, while men are generally expected to be strong, aggressive, and bold. Sexual orientation describes a person's identity in relation to the gender or genders to which they are sexually attracted. It also refers to an individual's physical, romantical, or emotional attraction to people of the same or opposite gender. Sexual orientation is about who you're attracted to and want to have relationships with. And we have classifications of sexual orientation. The first one is heterosexual. Heterosexual people are sexually or romantically attracted to people of the opposite sex. Heterosexual men are sexually or romantically attracted to women, and heterosexual women are sexually or romantically attracted to men. The prefix hetero comes from the Greek word heteros, which means the other, another, different, second, other than usual. Most people are attracted to the opposite sex, boys who like girls and women who like men, for example. These people are heterosexual or straight. And the next is homosexual. Some people are attracted to the same sex. These people are homosexual. In Australia, around 10% of young Australians experience same-sex attraction, most during puberty. Lesbian is the common term for people who identify as women who are same-sex attracted. Gay is the most common term for people who identify as men who are same-sex attracted. There are a lot of devoted same-sex partnerships among gay and lesbian people. In all significant psychological respects, these relationships are equivalent to the heterosexual ones. Homosexual acts and relationships have been both praised and decried throughout recorded history, depending on their form and the culture in which they took place. Since the turn of the 20th century, there has been a global movement towards freedom and equality for gay people, including the introduction of anti-bullying legislation to protect gay children. And the next one is bisexual. Sexuality can be more complicated than being straight or gay. Some people are attracted to both men and women and are known as bisexual. Bisexual does not mean the attraction is evenly weighted. A person may have stronger feelings for one gender than another, and this can vary depending on who they meet. Being bisexual involves being attracted to different genders. Bisexuals have feelings of sexual or romantic attraction for both members of their own gender and members of other genders. Although this provides a straightforward definition, bisexuals are a diverse population. Various people have different perceptions of their sexual orientation. Some people might be attracted to both men and women equally, while others might be more drawn to one gender than the other. An individual who identifies as bisexual may have a steady same-sex or heterosexual relationship or fluctuate between the two. And next is pansexual. A pansexual person may be attracted to men, women, as well as people who are non-binary, trans, gender fluid, and more. Pansexuality is not just limited to sexual attraction but can also involve a romantic or emotional attraction. Pansexuality is the attraction for others on a sexual, romantic, or emotional level regardless of their gender or sex. People who identify as pansexual may describe themselves as gender blind, claiming that neither gender nor sex affects how attracted they are to someone romantically or sexually. So what is the difference between bisexual and pansexual? Bisexual means attracted to multiple genders, while pansexual means attracted to all genders. And we proceed to the last one, which is the asexual.
A person who identifies as asexual is someone who does not experience or experiences very little sexual attraction. Asexuality is not a choice like abstinence, or where someone chooses not to have sex with anyone, whether they are attracted to them or not, or celibacy, where someone does not engage to sex with anyone because of their commitment. Example for this is priest or nun. Asexuality is a sexual orientation like homosexuality or heterosexuality. So let's define first the sexual attraction. Sexual attraction means you find a specific person sexually appealing and want to have sex with them. While sexual desire, this refers to the desire to have sex, whether it's for pleasure, a personal connection, conception, or something else. So there is a huge difference between sexual attraction and sexual desire. Sexual people who don't experience any sexual attraction can still experience other forms of attraction. Aside from sexual attraction, they can also experience romantic attraction, desiring a romantic relationships with someone, aesthetic attraction, being attracted to someone based on how they look, sensual or physical attraction, wanting to touch, hold, or cuddle someone, platonic attraction, wanting to be friends with someone, emotional attraction, wanting an emotional connection with someone. Asexual people can have a sex drive and experience sexual desire. Asexual people might still masturbate or have sex. After all, sexuality does not always mean someone doesn't enjoy sex. It just means they don't experience sexual attraction. Some people face discrimination because of their sexual orientation. If someone is making fun of your sexuality, it's a good idea to talk to someone about it.
Gender identity. The term gender identity refers to the personal sense of an individual's own gender. The term gender identity first appeared in the 1960s. It referred to a person's inner sense of belonging to the category of male or female. In time, the term came to include people who identify in other ways. It refers to a person's own sense of their gender, regardless of the sex a doctor assigned to them at birth. Because a person's sex and gender identity do not have to be the same, it is important to know the difference between them. It includes but is not limited to people who identify as transgender, trans woman, male to female, trans man, female to male, transsexual, crossdresser, gender nonconforming, gender variant, or gender queer. Trans woman and trans man undergo to a transition in surgical or non-surgical transition, but it doesn't mean they're forced to do it if they are actually happy to live as a woman and to live as a man. Sexual behavior: masturbation, oral genital stimulation, penile vaginal intercourse or vaginal sex, and anal stimulation or anal intercourse are only a few of the numerous behaviors that fall under the category of sexual behavior. Activities that arouse another person's interest in them sexually or that your partners can also be considered sexual behaviors. People engage in sexual behavior for a variety of reasons, which vary in how acceptable they are dependent on society norms and evolve throughout the course of a person's lifetime. Sexual behavior begins before puberty. There is a stronger interest in sex and a wider spectrum of sexual experimentation during this time than there was throughout childhood. Even though many people believe that having sex is just natural and ought to be simple, many people struggle with sexual issues or sexual problems. Fortunately, with the right knowledge about sex therapy, many of these may be avoided. What is love? Love spans a wide spectrum of strong and positive emotional and mental states, from the loftiest virtue or good habit, the deepest interpersonal affection, to the simplest pleasure. A mother's love differs from a spouse's love, which differs from love for food. Most typically, love is defined as strong attraction and emotional attachment. According to Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love, love is made up of three different but interconnected components: intimacy, passion, and decision or commitment. Emotional intimacy and cognitive decision or commitment components are often very consistent in close relationships. Once formed, they are likely to stay. Passion, on the other hand, is thought to be less steady and far less predictable. Individuals love each other according to this idea to the extent that they experience and demonstrate these three components, and different combination of the components will result in radically different kinds of love. Non-love, liking, infatuation, emptiness, passionate, companionate, fatuous, and consummate are the 8 types of love recognized by the triangle theory. Sternberg defines intimacy as feelings of closeness, connectedness, and bondedness in loving relationships. Passion as the drives that lead to romance, physical attraction, sexual consummation, and related phenomena in loving relationships. And decision or commitment as different things in the short and long term. It refers to the decision that one loves a certain other in the short term and one's commitment to retain that love in the long term. John Lee's love style. The primary are Eros, Storge, and Ludus, while the secondary are Pragma, Mania, and Agape. The first one is Eros, the romantic. This style is characterized by relentless romance and passion, and frequently falls in love at first sight. For someone who exhibits Eros, there is a primary emphasis on physical attraction and sexual desire at times, even at the expense of other aspects of compatibility. Furthermore, these people seek out their ideal type. which is someone who, in their opinion, is the epitome of beauty and attractiveness. Furthermore, these people are particularly devoted since they value great emotion and demand exclusivity, especially if they are someone who reflects their ideal type or someone to whom they are very attracted. Eros gives fully, emotionally, and take risk in love. It requires enormous ego strength. Erotic lovers have better self-esteem than the general population. Some popular examples of Eros would be Romeo in Romeo and Juliet, Antar of Antar wa Abla, the Egyptian film, Majnun, Laila and Majnun, an Afghan story, Jack Dawson of Titanic, and Anakin Skywalker of Star Wars. This is also the most common depiction of love in the media. Storge, the best friend lover. These individuals exhibit high levels of commitment, dedication, and intimacy and value compatibility, respect, understanding, and harmony. Storge describes a style based on slow developing affection and companionship, gradual disclosure of self-avoidance of self-conscious passion, and expectation of long-term commitment. For these people, friendship comes first, both figuratively and literally. This kind of love values stability and long-term commitment. Additionally, Storgic individuals place a high value on the relationship aspect and often desire friendships to last, even when romantic relationships do not. Famous examples of Storge love include Harry and Sally in the movie of When Harry Met Sally and Zack and Miri in the movie of Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Ludus, the player. Love for Ludus, first shown by the Roman poet Ovid, is affiliated to games, sports, or conquest. They are playful, flirtatious, fun, independent, rebellious, and revealing. They go from a person to person, often juggling romantic or sexual interest with multiple partners at once. And because they prioritize quantity over quality, like collect and collect and select situation, they recover quickly from breakups and rejections. They don't follow the traditional rules of romance, love, and dating, and often break them. Levels of involvement are carefully controlled wherein jealousy is avoided, and relationships are often multifaceted and relatively short-lived. They often do not value or expect much intimacy. This is very different from the game that people in relationships talk about. This is very different from someone who displays silly love, and indeed, often someone strictly follows the play or breaks the rules of the game to maximize their own results. These individuals also had above average self-esteem and in fact, with very positive self-esteem, were sillier than the other two self-esteem groups. Taking love seriously. Playing as a game obviously requires ego strength. Ludus is playful or uncommitted love. It can involve activities such as teasing and dancing or moreover flirting, seducing, and conjugating. The focus is on fun and sometimes also on conquest with no strings attached. In our society, it's also known as no label thing, but in a mutual understanding of feelings without attachment. Pragma, the practical lover, the combination of ludus and storage. These individuals are pragmatic, practical, rational, down to earth, and most importantly, very much looking for a partner who emphasizes long-term commitment at a high level of compatibility and solution. They have a clear list of qualities they aim to find people with the most, if not all, of the desirable qualities on the list. Furthermore, according to Lee, pragmatic lovers consciously consider demographics about suitable beloved. A lover's education, occupation, religion, age, and numerous other demographics are considered. Arab culture and general collective culture in Charlotte in Pride and Prejudice was an example of a pragma in the popular media, but I'm sure many of you are thinking of people in your life who think about it. Mania, the infatuation. This is the merging of Eros and Ludus. According to Lee, mania is an obsessive, jealous, emotionally intense love affair characterized by preoccupation with the loved one and the need to repeatedly confirm that one is loved. The style is possessive, dependent, intense, and often insecure. In fact, in Hendrick and Hendrick of 1986 found that the manic lover had the lowest self-esteem in the sample, stating, in fact, one of the reasons why the manic lover is manic is because he or she has self-insecurity in life. This style of love is especially common in teenagers and adolescents. One of the most example of a manic lover is Alex Force in Fatal Attraction. As you can see, it doesn't bode well for a happy ending. Agape, the selfless lover, giving to others, sacrificing our time, energy, and resources for someone else without expecting anything in return, is what agape love is all about. Agape love entails remaining calm in the face of adversity, sacrificing without complaint, and waiting patiently. The combination of Eros and Sturge, agape is altruistic love, given because the lover sees it as his or her duty to love without expectation of reciprocity. It is gentle, caring, and guided by reasons more than emotion. Agapic individuals sacrifice often for the other person's happiness, sometimes at the influence of a spiritual power and at the expense of their own needs and desires. They also give their love unconditionally. Agape is one of the most rare love styles, but also one of the most successful. The most well-known agapic individuals include Forrest in the Forrest Gump movie, starring Tom Hanks, Penelope in the Odyssey, the two lovers in The Gift of the Magi, and certain religious figures such as Jesus. Love is arguably one of the most intense human emotions and one of the most coveted. People have been known to lie, cheat, steal, and kill, but no one knows exactly what it is. The quantitative and qualitative research involved can help society understand the depth of love and how it affects human interaction. Humans are loving and sexual beings. They are both primitive functions of humanity. This also translates into relationship satisfaction and the style of love that is most rewarding for couples. This analysis can also shed light on how people view their relationships and how that relates to love styles, sexual styles, and happiness. Your love style can also be tied to your sexual style. Sex and love are inseparable from survival, so it is not surprising that there is a relationship between dealing with love and dealing with sex, because sexuality is such an important piece of a relationship, and the love styles themselves, the sexual analysis cannot be left out.
Sexual problems or sexual dysfunction is a problem that can happen during any phase of the sexual response cycle. It prevents you from experiencing satisfaction from sexual activity. Ito yung mga problema na nararanasan before, during, or after sexual intercourse. Ano nga palang sexual response cycle? Ito ay isang pangyayari na kung saan nagbabago ang physical and emotional ng isang tao during sex or masturbation. Sexual dysfunction have four types: sexual desire disorder, sexual arousal disorder, sexual orgasm disorder, and sexual pain disorder. First, sexual desire disorder. Lack of sexual desire or interest in sex may be caused by a decrease in the normal production of estrogen in women or testosterone in men. Uri ng problema na kung saan nawawala ng interes sa sex o ayaw na makipag-intercourse ng isang tao. Isa sa dahilan ng sexual desire disorder ay ang pagbaba ng production ng hormones sa reproductive ng isang tao. Bakit nga ba bumababa ang production ng hormones? Dahil sa childbirth, menopause, stress, o problema sa reproductive. May paraan naman kung paano maharapin ang ganitong problema, katulad ng pakikipagkomunikasyon sa partner mo kung ano ang gusto o ayaw mong gawin, masturbating, bawasan ng stress para ma-improve ang mood. Next is sexual arousal disorder. Inability to become physically aroused or excited during sexual activity, or previously known as frigidity in women and impotence in men. These have now been replaced with less judgmental terms. Impotence is now known as erectile dysfunction, and frigidity is now described as any of several specific problems with desire, arousal, or anxiety. Ang pagkakaiba ng sexual arousal disorder at sexual desire disorder ay ang arousal, gusto mo makipag-sex ngunit hindi mabilis ang init o tensyon sa iyong katawan kaya hindi masasabi kung nasatisfied ka sa sexual activity na ginawa. May ilan na problema depende sa gender, katulad na lang sa lalaki na may problema sa erection na sanhi ng pagkahirap masatisfy ang lalaki during sexual intercourse. Ngunit ang pagkapareha nito sa babae ay parehas na nahihirapan sa orgasm. Maaaring makatulong rito ay ang foreplay, focus intimacy and trust, and use lubricant. Third is sexual orgasm disorder, also known as anorgasmia. Orgasm disorder are a persistent delay or absence of orgasm following a normal sexual excitement phase. Ang sexual orgasm disorder ay ang problema na kung saan nade-delay o nahihirapan maabot orgasm. Nangyayari ang disorder na ito kahit sila ay sexually aroused at may sapat na sexual na pagpapasigla. Ang disorder na ito ay mostly common sa mga babae. Ano nga pala ang orgasm? Ito ang intense feelings na nararamdaman during sexual stimulation. Ang sanhi ng anorgasmia ay pagkahiya, older age, and medical conditions such as diabetes. Also, there is 4 types of orgasmic dysfunction. First, the primary anorgasmia, a condition in which you've never had an orgasm. Isang kondisyon na kung saan ay hindi pa naranasan ng orgasm. Ang taong may ganitong kondisyon ay kadalasan mababa ang level ng sexual excitement nila. Sa ibang kaso, may nakalap na impormasyon na ang babae ay unable to orgasm kahit na sila ay maalaga or may skilled partner. Second, anorgasmia, difficulty reaching orgasm even though you've had one before. Pagkawala ng abilidad na makapag-orgasm or nahihirapang maabot ito kahit na naranasan na ang pag-orgasm noon. Itong kondisyon naman ay common sa mga lalaki. Situational anorgasmia, the most common type of orgasmic dysfunction. It occurs when you can only orgasm during specific situations such as during oral sex or masturbation. Isa itong common na orgasmic dysfunction na kung saan may specific o certain type ng sexual stimulation lang naabot ang orgasm. It's either sex or any type of foreplay like oral sex or masturbation. Plus, general anorgasmia, an inability to achieve an orgasm under any circumstances even when you're highly aroused and sexual stimulation is sufficient. Ibig sabihin, ang isang tao hindi talaga maabot ng orgasm kahit na anong sitwasyon, kahit naramdam mo yung tension at nagustuhan mo makipag-sex. Maaaring makatulong ang increasing clitoral stimulation during masturbation and sexual intercourse and have cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT or sex therapy. Last, sexual dysfunction is sexual pain disorder. Affect women almost exclusively and are known as dyspareunia, painful intercourse, and vaginismus, an involuntary spasm of the muscles of the vaginal wall which interferes with intercourse. Dyspareunia may be caused by insufficient lubrication, vaginal dryness in women. Ang pain disorder ay nakakapekto sa sexual health. Ito ay maaaring sanhi ng sakit during intercourse. Pwede itong maranasan sa dalawang paraan. Pwede habang pinapasok ang ari ng lalaki sa ari ng babae at penetration. Ilan sa mga sanhi nito ay ang panunuyot ng vagina, kulang sa lubrication, o hindi fully formed ang vagina. Pwede mong maiwasan ito sa pamamagitan ng treatment or therapy for organ problem. And for dryness, use plenty of lubricant during sex. Sexual dysfunction symptoms. These are some symptoms might be seen in every sex. In male, inability to achieve or maintain an erection suitable for intercourse, and absent or delayed ejaculation despite enough sexual stimulation, retarded ejaculation, and inability to control the timing of ejaculation, early or premature ejaculation. For female, inability to achieve orgasm, inadequate vaginal lubrication before and during intercourse, and inability to relax the vaginal muscles enough to allow intercourse. And for the both sex, lack of interest or desire for sex, and inability to become aroused, and pain with intercourse. What causes sexual dysfunction? It is physical causes and psychological causes. Physical causes. Many physical and or medical conditions can cause problems with sexual function. These conditions include diabetes, heart and vascular blood vessel disease, neurological disorders, hormonal imbalances, chronic disease such as kidney or liver failure, and alcoholism and drug abuse. In addition, the side effects of some medications, including some antidepressant drugs, can affect sexual dysfunction. And for psychological causes, these include work-related stress and anxiety, concern about sexual performance, marital or relationship problems, depressions, anxiety, feelings of guilt, concerns about body image, and the effects of a past sexual trauma.
Male sexual dysfunction is among the most prominent health issues that men have, and it becomes more prevalent with advancing age. Physical or psychological issues can contribute to male sexual dysfunction. So, ang male sexual dysfunction daw ay kabilang sa mga pinakakilala na issue sa kalusugan na meron ng isang lalaki, at ito ay mas laganap sa pagtanda. So, ibig sabihin, habang tumatanda ang isang lalaki, ay mas nagiging prone ito sa pagkakaroon ng sexual dysfunction. So, mapa-physical man o psychological ay maaaring makaambag sa sexual dysfunction ng lalaki. So, I have here ay 3 example of male sexual dysfunction. The first one is erectile dysfunction. The second one is retarded ejaculation. And the third one is premature ejaculation. Erectile dysfunction or ED is a common type of male sexual dysfunction. It is when a man has trouble or keeps an erection. Erectile dysfunction becomes more common as men gets older. It's not a natural part of aging. So, yung erectile dysfunction daw is, ito yung hindi pagtayo or pag-erect ng ari ng lalaki. So, madalas itong nangyayari sa mga matatanda, pero hindi to parte ng pagtanda ng isang lalaki. Here are some possible causes of erectile dysfunction: heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. Retarded ejaculation is the condition when men find difficult or impossible to ejaculate and experience orgasm during sexual intercourse. So, yung retarded ejaculation daw ay hirap o di makapag-ejaculate ang isang lalaki during sexual intercourse. Retarded ejaculation can result from medication, certain chronic health conditions, and surgeries. Or it might be caused by substance misuse or a mental health concern such as depression, anxiety, or stress. In many cases, it is due to a combination of physical and psychological concerns. Premature ejaculation is the condition where a male ejaculates earlier than ideal. Sometimes it happens immediately after penetration, and in some cases, after intercourse. So, yung premature ejaculation is kabaliktaran ng retarded ejaculation. Kasi kung sa retarded ejaculation ay hirap o di makapag-ejaculate ang isang lalaki, sa premature ejaculation naman, mabilis na nakakapag-ejaculate ang lalaki. Na sa sobrang bilis, ay hindi pa nag-intercourse na nakapag-ejaculate na siya. Ganun kabilis. Premature ejaculation can result from depression, poor body image, and sexual abuse. So, I have here a 3 female sexual dysfunction. The first one is anorgasmia, the second one is dysparanoia, and the third one is hypoactive sexual desire disorder. Anorgasmia is delayed infrequent or non-existent orgasms or significantly less intense orgasms following sufficient sexual stimulation and desire. Anorgasmia may be identified in women who experience severe distress as a result of their orgasmic issues. So, kung sa lalaki may retarded ejaculation, sa babae meron namang anorgasmia, which is hirap yung babae makapag-orgasms or nakakapag-orgasm naman sila pero hindi ganun ka-intense or less intense. Symptoms: a peak experience of extreme pleasure brought on by exciting sexual activity is known as an orgasm. The clitoris is indirectly stimulated by vaginal penetration during intercourse. However, there's a chance that this won't arouse an orgasm. Many women could also require oral or direct clitoral stimulation in order to experience orgasm. Delayed orgasm, absence of orgasm, fewer orgasms. Dysparanoia is the praise for persistent pain experienced during sexual activity in the vaginal region or the pelvis. The discomfort may be severe or acute. It can happen prior to, during, or following sexual activity. Women are more likely than men to have dysparanoia. Although there are numerous potential causes, it is treatable. So, yung dysparanoia daw is yung sakit na maaaring ma-experience ng babae sa kanyang ari during sexual activity. So, pwedeng malubha yung sakit na maramdaman niya dito. Dysparanoia can also be brought on by things that lessen a person's sexual desire or interfere with their capacity to become aroused. These elements consist of stress, which can result in tightened muscles of the pelvic floor, fear, guilt, or shame relaxed to sex, self-image or body issues, medications such as birth control pills, relationship problems, conditions such as cancer, arthritis, diabetes, and thyroid disease, history of sexual abuse or rape. Hypoactive sexual desire. When you are not interested in sex, have no sex drive or low sex desire, it concerns you, it is known as HSDD. It's among the most prevalent sexual issues that people experience. This could be a persistent worry or it might develop gradually. It might always be an issue or just present itself occasionally. Pag ang isang babae ay walang interest sa sex, ibig sabihin meron siyang HSDD or Hypoactive Sexual Desire Disorder. So, ang HSDD ay kabilang sa mga pinakakaraniwang mga issue sa sexual na nararanasan ng mga tao. HSDD may be caused by anxiety or depression, relationship problems, issues with your body image, stress, tiredness, sexual abuse or trauma in your past, low sex hormone levels, medical problems like cancer, diabetes, heart problems, multiple sclerosis, or bladder problems. Medicines like antidepressants, blood pressure medicines, chemotherapy, and feminizing hormone therapy. And the last one is menopause.